think we finally caught up with the ship. What are we even after on there anyway?
An old friend of mine. Well, enemy at least.
Who? What's that?
A signal's coming through.
Your face is blockier, and yet its arrogance is unchanged. Welcome to my new empire, Doctor. It is only fitting that you should witness the resurrection and the triumph of Davros, Lord and Spawner of the Dalek race!
Episode of my Doctor Who Mobs tutorial. I am in my TARDIS world, but this can obviously, as always, be done in any world. So yeah, you may have seen in the intro skit. Today we'll be covering Davros, and he is actually, fun fact, a boss mob. So I figured out how to code boss mobs, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think I'll just demonstrate right now. We can spawn him in with this mutated remains item. And here he is, and he's got his boss bar. He's also got a totem of undying, but I kind of used a obsidian falling block to represent his chair. That's why he's invisible, so his leg won't show up. But yeah, he's very fast, just to make him a tough boss. And if we hit him, the boss bar will follow suit. He doesn't have a lot of health. You can change that. It just makes the boss bar a little buggy. But the totem will go off, so it kind of makes up for it. And then he's also got some special attacks here in a second. So when we kill him for the first time, something special will happen. Oh no, they kind of spawn at a wall, but help me, Daleks and henchmen. And as you can see, he kind of runs away and spawns in a bunch of villagers, a Ravager, and a Dalek. Oh, the Ravager's gone inside the building. Anyway, yeah, he spawns in all these henchmen. They're called as such, and a Dalek as well. Yeah, because there's some bugs, it's not really possible to spawn multiple Daleks, so you're kind of just stuck with the one. And if there already is a Dalek in the world, it won't actually spawn it. Same thing goes with Davros. Like, now that he's in the world, I can't actually spawn another Davros. You can see the item count isn't going down, it's not spawning anything. Just because, again, it has some bugs with the boss bar. But yeah, we can just kill him. And this time he's really dead. He doesn't really drop anything. I'm thinking about maybe making it to where he'll drop like his chair as like a rideable entity. That might be kind of fun. So yeah, how does this all work? Well, we have this room here, Davros, and it looks like a lot, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it looks. So you actually want to start off by typing a command in the chat, boss bar, add, and then type the ID name, which I just made Davros, no capitals, and then the actual name, which you need to put in quotations, and I just put Davros with a capital, and that's the name that'll actually show up on the boss bar itself. So yeah, once you do that, we then need to do boss bar set Davros players, and then at A, and that'll make it visible for everyone. You don't have to do that yet. I'll show you when that happens. So that basically, we want that to happen when Davros actually spawns. So execute if entity at E tag equals Davros boss, because he's going to have that tag. Run boss bar set Minecraft Davros players at A. And then when he dies, we want it to go away, so we do basically the same thing in reverse. Execute unless entity at E tag equals Davros boss, run boss bar set Davros players, and then no at A at the end. And that'll just make it invisible again. So, okay, I think we'll move on to these. This is just spawning the chair, which is just executing at Davros, run, summoning a falling block of obsidian. That's all there is to it. You can make that more or less complex as you please. And then these are just some status effects. So effect give Davros invisibility. That's just so his legs won't show up, poking out of the chair at any point. And here we have effect give Davros speed, as well as strength, fire resistance, and water breathing, just because I wanted to make him a bit tougher, especially since I couldn't quite get the him having more health working, but I can show you how that's actually possible. So let's move here now. So this is actually when you spawn Davros, so execute if at E, which in this case would be a player, is holding in their inventory a fermented spider eye in their offhand with the tag of mutated remains, and that's just this one spawn item here. And if they're holding that in their offhand, what's it going to do? It is going to execute unless there's a Davros already existing in the world, because like I said, it messes with the boss bar. Run clear at A, that same player with the spider eye in their offhand. It'll clear that exact same item, one of them, from their offhand. So yeah, basically just acting as if you've used up the item, the number of the items will go down. But only if there isn't a Davros already existing in the world. And same goes for this next command, which actually summons in the mob. So executing unless there's already a Davros at R, a random player with that spider eye in their offhand, which is called mutant remains. It'll summon a husk at their coordinates with the custom name of Davros. The armor items, these first two can remain blank, they're just the legs and feet, like I mentioned, and then a netherite chestplate for his chestplate, but you could make it a colored leather chestplate if you wanted. I just couldn't get that to work. And then finally, for his head slot, you want a player head with the skull owner Davros Dalek. If you know of somebody else with a Davros head, feel free to use that, but this is the player that I found with a Davros head. And then we have here the tag Davros boss, which will help us to target him later on. And then finally, he's got the hand item of a Totem of Undying. And obviously that just makes it to where he comes back to life when he dies. For the three commands above here, we'll have three chain command blocks. And you begin here, and you want to do chain, unconditional, and always active. And we want to do execute, store result, boss bar, Minecraft Davros, max, run, data get, entity, at E, tag equals Davros boss, limit equals 1, health. And what this means is that we are storing the result of Davros' health into his boss bar, basically. So yeah, that's again with that targeting tag that we spoke about, and then runs into another chain block, exactly like this. And what we want to do is attribute Davros, and it'll change his attributes. And what this means, we have things like max health. We can set the base of that to 20. 20 is just normal for a husk, but you can make it higher. You can make it like 100 or 200, which I think 200 might be what it is for the Ender Dragon. However, there was a weird bug where it actually won't show the boss bar going down until it gets to under 20 health. So perhaps keep that in mind. I think the boss bar might correlate to the health of the mob itself and not the health that you give it with this command. But just know that you can change Davros' health if you would like to. And lastly, this one. Effect give Davros instant damage 10-10 true. Because he's a husk, the damage will actually heal him, and that's because when we give him these extra hearts, they won't, well, if we had given him extra hearts anyway, he wouldn't actually get all the hearts filled instantly, so you would do that by giving him more health via this command. And finally, onto that feature where he comes back to life and summons some minions. That's where this is, and execute unless he has that hand item of the Totem of Undying. And the only time he won't have it is if it is broken, because obviously he spawns with it in his hand. And when that turns on, it'll come here and effect give instant damage 10-10. That just brings his health back up to full, and then he will do executing as Davros, run, say, help me, Daleks, and henchmen. so that there's just a message in the chat. And then over here, actually summoning the Dalek, executing at Davros, unless there's already a Dalek existing. Like I said, if there is, there can be problems. Run, summon, husk, yada yada yada, just a normal Dalek basically, just like that. And I probably haven't shown off in a video why it has a Guardian riding on it with the name D-Gun. That's just so that the Dalek can have kind of a laser firing feature. And then over here, it's the same thing, executing at Davros, running, summoning a Pillager called Henchman with a crossbow. Because pillagers don't actually spawn with crossbows, annoyingly. Found that out the hard way. But yeah, and then we do another one. This is just the same thing again. And then right here we have him summoning Vindicators with also the name of Henchman. Same thing here. And then finally summons a Ravager, which I have called a Mutant Henchman, which I thought was a funny little touch. But yeah, I mean, like I said, lots of commands. They're not really that difficult, though, once you get down to what they're actually doing. So I think what I'm going to do is show this off in survival. So now we're ready to take on Davros. Maybe. We might die. So here he is, and he is very fast, as you can see. Oh, and he's also very strong. Yeah. Kind of makes up for him just being a husk and having such limited health, but he's relatively easy to take down. In fact, you can take him down without actually dying. If you're like really careful about it. Maybe he could function more of like a mini-boss, but I think he does offer at least a certain degree of challenge to really any player, especially one with only iron armor. Hello, Davros. Okay, I think we almost got him. Oh yes, we got him. We killed him and then immediately summoned in his henchmen. Help me, Daleks and henchmen. And so if we go in out here now, we can see here they are. And these guys don't spawn with axes, as you can see, but yeah. Davros. Yep, he's dead. But yeah, we still have these guys to deal with, and that's kind of where the problem comes in. So yeah, you're gonna want to deal with them, and then the Dalek, you of course have to hit it on top of its head in order to actually hit its weak point. And then this Ravager. He's just an issue in of himself. Usually the Dalek isn't quite as hard to beat as the Ravager. Oh, there we go. It's dead. I think we've done it. We've defeated Davros and all of his henchmen. So, yeah, that's really all there is to it. This has been my tutorial on how to make Davros in vanilla Minecraft as a boss mob. So, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, just let me know if you have any suggestions for any future mobs. I don't really have too many in mind right now. I have like one or two. But I'd like to hear your suggestions on any more. Especially if you'd like them to be maybe a boss mob. That might be pretty cool to add in a few more of those, because Davros was quite fun to make. I've been Tivo2. Be sure to subscribe, to follow my Instagram, Tivo2IT, to follow my Twitter, which is also Tivo2IT, to join my Discord, and lastly, to have a nice day. Goodbye.